I do want to welcome Republican Senator from Louisiana, Bill Cassidy, who is coming to us via Skype. Hi, Senator. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, I'm very pleased to join you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So first off, reports show that Louisiana's fast becoming a hotspot for the coronavirus, with over 1,000 deaths reported as of today from Johns Hopkins University. There appears to be a disproportionate rate of cases for African Americans in your state, though, as well as other minority populations in the country. Now, you're a doctor yourself. Can you explain why the cases and mortality rate is higher among minority communities?
Well, a couple things right now. One, it's tragic. Let's just emphasize that. But it's important to understand. One thing that the virus makes the virus more deadly is if somebody has obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. And African Americans, in my state at least, have about a 60% higher incidence of diabetes, like a 50% higher incidence of hypertension, high blood pressure. And then that's related to obesity, so a similar increased rate of obesity. I'm thinking that if you just say take all diabetics, those with high blood pressure and obesity, that the racial differences would probably fall out substantially. I say that because the initial reports from China showed that a major risk factor for being hospitalized and dying was having high blood pressure. So even among Chinese, having high blood pressure was a major risk factor. So I'm not to minimize it. I'm trying to understand it. But one more reason why folks should hopefully lose weight and get their blood pressure and diabetes under control.
Well, so the president has been pretty vocal about his plans on reopening the economy to get the nation back on its feet. Several Democratic governors, though, they say that they will be the ones to decide when the time is right in order to lift these mitigation orders. Louisiana's Democrat Governor John Bel Edwards recently saying that he plans to keep schools closed for the rest of the year. He's also said that he's going to be looking at some data to make a determination to reopen businesses across the state. Are you confident in Governor Bel Edwards' ability to make that decision?
Yes, I am. I think he's, done a pretty good job so far. And obviously what is working in Louisiana may be different than is working someplace else. The peak of the infection seems to have hit our state earlier. Hopefully will pass earlier. That may change the timeline by when we reopen business. I do think it should be a state-by-state basis, adapting to the circumstances within that state.
And so based on your medical expertise, do you think your state's going to keep the social distancing measures and reopen businesses? And do you think May 1st as a timeline is plausible?
Well, it's plausible. We have to see how things develop. Two things about this, though. One thing, I just wrote an editorial for the Wall Street Journal suggesting that the people that are paying the highest price for relative to their risk of disease are young people. They're missing out on school, college, developing their career, athletics, you name it. And yet really people less than 30, if they're otherwise healthy, are at an extremely low risk of having terrible symptoms. So it may be that we want to open up our schools first and then kind of build from there. It requires consistent testing, because obviously if a child is infected and kisses their mother, even if the child does not have symptoms, the mother could get sick. So we do need to have consistent testing. On the other hand, what I just proposed appears to be what Germany is about to begin, allowing schools to reopen so that those children can resume their lives. I do think there's kind of a middle path we can go down.
And then lastly, from what you've seen, obviously you've been social distancing yourself, but from what you've seen in your state, have people been following social distancing guidelines?
Yeah, I really have seen that. I noticed that because the traffic jam that's normally there is not there in the morning. Restaurants and coffee shops are closed except for takeout. When I go for a walk with my wife, everybody, they're friendly, they smile, they say hello, but they stand apart from each other unless they're a family, in which case they're close. So it appears that folks are, and some are even jogging with masks on. Folks are understanding this is a big deal.
All right, Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana speaking about the coronavirus outbreak in his state. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time. Stay safe.
Hey, thank you. Be safe.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.